Most men want to change their life, but they never actually take the action to do that. And this isn't because they're weak, but because they're afraid. And I can relate to that. This YouTube channel is an example for me, but I finally have decided that I'm gonna silence the fear. I'm tired of being the man who says I'm gonna do something, but never actually does it. And if that sounds like you, if you can relate to that, then I want you to stick around because we're gonna talk about what I've done to overcome that and how you can start taking action today. The first thing I want to talk about is this thing called the waiting syndrome, which basically says that I'll do it when fill in the blank. Now, that might be when you feel more confident, or when you have a better plan, or when your life slows down. But the truth is, if you wait for that, if you wait for the perfect time, you're never actually going to take action. And the reason for that is because readiness itself is a myth. Take me, for example. About a year ago, I bought a gym and I had no idea what I was doing. I remember coaching classes that first morning and then sitting down asking myself, what does the rest of my day look like? If you fast forward 1 year from then, I now have a pretty good idea of what to do in a day because I built systems that helped me to stay more disciplined and they allowed me to continue growing the business. And one thing that I learned while I was doing it is that the actual action led me to have more clarity. Because before that, I always said that I would do it one day if I had all of the right things in place, but it always led to me never actually pulling the trigger and doing the thing I was supposed to do. And through this process, I was actually able to build my confidence up so that each day became easier and easier. I realized that my confidence was built, it wasn't found, and it wasn't in some place that I wasn't looking. So the main reason that you're not actually committing to this thing is because of the fear that you feel inside. But that's actually a good thing because when you feel that fear, it means that it matters to you. And when that fear is the strongest, it's telling you that this thing is even more meaningful. And the hard part about that fear is that it's going to expose you and it's going to force you to face who you actually are so that you can continue growing into the man that you want to be. It's hard to actually look into the mirror because we're afraid that we're gonna see some things about us that we don't like, or some things that are gonna force us to step into an area that might be uncomfortable for us. But in life, it's actually harder for you if you don't look in the mirror because you're never gonna grow and you're never gonna step into becoming the man that you know you're destined to be. One little phrase or saying that I've been told that's helped me through this is, if it scares you, then you should probably do it. And there's a secret that actually comes with that that's helped me be able to reframe my mindset so that I can silence the fear and keep pushing forward. And that secret is that the momentum dies in your mind before it actually dies in real life. I want to give you a real life example of how I've seen that show up in my own life. So I wanted to get better at running because I'm not the best runner in the world, and I decided that I was going to do a 10K. After that, for 8 weeks, I was going to do a program that helped me add more mileage and get faster at running so that I could retest my 10K and hopefully see an improvement. But I was looking at all of these other people who were not just strong, but they were also really fast, and they were holding much faster paces than me for multiple miles. So when I'm looking at them, I started feeling disappointed and defeated and really discouraged, which could have easily led me to decide to not even do this plan. But the plan wasn't for them. The plan was for me. It was my opportunity for me to push my limits and continue getting better. All of my momentum had died in my head before it had actually died in real life. So let's talk a little bit more about what actually happened when I was trying to get started. I started out by overthinking. I was trying to plan too much and make sure that everything was perfect before I actually got started. And as a result, it led me to taking a lot longer to actually start this running cycle than if I had just decided to start on day one. The main thing that I learned through that was that I couldn't think myself out of fear. I had to actually act my way out. And all of this is great because it ties back to the big argument of motivation versus discipline. Motivation is a feeling, and if we rely on our feelings are going to lie to us. So we have to figure out a way to stop relying on our feelings so that we can do something even when we don't feel like it. That is called discipline, and discipline is a result of other systems put together so that you continue to show up even when you don't feel like it. If you think about fear, fear is also a feeling. Motivation and fear are completely opposite feelings. So when you have discipline, your discipline is going to block out fear, but it's also going to help you to capitalize when you are feeling motivated. And the thing about discipline is that it's going to help you to block out fear And it's gonna help you to capitalize when you actually are feeling motivated. If you look back at my example of my day one of gym ownership, I had no idea what to do. But today, I have great plans in place, or great systems in place that help me to continue moving the needle forward. Everything hard that I've ever done started when I didn't feel ready. And now I'm actually sitting here today telling you exactly what I've done to get out of the position that you currently find yourself in. Now, I've given you an example of how far I made it in a year, but that might be a bigger example of something that could seem to be a little bit easier. So I want to give you another example that's a little bit smaller and a little bit more in the moment. So take a look at the YouTube channel. I was terrified to post my first video. It's kept me frozen for so much longer than it should have. And the thing is, I wasn't gonna promote the video. I didn't have any subscribers. So the only way that people would see it is if it was an absolutely great video and the algorithm took off, which was pretty unlikely because it was my first video and it wasn't made for people to really see. The whole video was done. I had a thumbnail. It was literally loaded up into YouTube and all I had to do was press publish, but I was frozen. So I finally decided, you know what, just post it. Nobody's gonna see it. And it's the only way that I can continue getting better. Within about 24 hours, I had friends that were giving me feedback that I'd sent it to that I trusted, and they gave me great feedback. They helped me feel significantly more confident so that I am now sitting here making this second video, continuing to push through so that I can show you what you're capable of. And it really felt good to actually post that video and to get some feedback. So I'm standing here today telling you that you're capable of doing it and you could feel this way too. I want to close out by telling you a few things that have helped me actually build systems and stay a little bit more disciplined. And the first thing that I did was I started small. I made a goal that was attainable. For me, that goal was record the first video and post it. It was hard, I did it, but now I feel a whole lot more confident to do it again. The next thing was not to chase perfection. Of course, I would love for that video to be perfect, but right off the bat, I set an unreal expectation, and I'm always gonna be disappointed because I'm never gonna have that perfect video. And then the last thing that I did was I built momentum by allowing one action to carry over, and that became my building blocks or my stepping stones so that one action led to the next and it'll lead to the next and the next until I finally get to the destination that I've been trying to get to. And if you could just do these things, if you could start small, if you could not aim for perfection on day one, then the man that you want to be is right in front of you. The man that you want to be is behind all of the reps that you've been avoiding. So I want you to ask yourself, what kind of man are you going to be? Are you going to be a man who is built by your intentions, or are you going to be a man who's built by your actions? I want to leave you with this. If you feel stuck, you're not alone. Because I'm in this with you. We're all in this together. We're going to go further together. And remember, if you're scared to start, that might be the sign that you're looking for.